Prologue. If my father caught me, he would cut my neck, so I just kept going. Broken sticks and sharp stones gouged my bare feet, but I didn't consider the sensation. A branch whipped across my face. I felt the sting, and for an instant I was fully blind, but I didn't stop. His flashlight sliced into the woods on either side of me. The beam was like a knife, and I didn't want it on my back. He was out there, behind me somewhere in these woods. I dashed to the right through a clutch of young silver birch trees and ran up the embankment, crouching to maintain speed. With his bad knee, he would have trouble with the hill. Lumbering forward, he would need to pause and massage the swollen, throbbing kneecap, catch his breath. When I realized the jabbing slash from his flashlight was gone, I worried that he had cut around and was one step ahead of me, that he was already on the hill, climbing it from the other side. What if I reached the top and he was there waiting? I veered back to the path, then crossed it. I wanted to stop and listen, but I couldn't. Fear pressed me forward. My breathing roared in my head as though my ears were beside a gigantic, heaving machine, a bellows stoking some hellish fire. Even though I was wearing only pajamas and had no shoes, I wasn't cold. I wasn't anything at all. I was only a blur. When I stepped on a branch, the rough bark cut into my arch, but I just kept going. The pain exploded in my foot and shot out the top of my head, and then was left behind in my wake. I paused, finally, and watched the trees for slashes of light, but saw none. As my heart settled and my ears became less occupied, I listened and heard nothing but the thready pulse of the night, and I sensed that the hunt was over. Prey knows when it has escaped. Chapter 1. Sitting in my high chair, I held a saltine cracker up to my eye and peered through one of the tiny holes, astonished that I could see so much through such a small opening. Everything on the other side of the kitchen seemed nearer when viewed through this little window. The cracker was huge, larger than my hand, and through this pinprick hole I could see the world. I brought the cracker to my lips, nibbled off the corners, and mashed the rest into a dry, salty dust. I clapped, enchanted. The hem of my mother's skirt, a wicker lantern that hangs from the ceiling, painting the walls with sliding, breathing shadows, a wooden spoon and the hollow knock as it strikes the interior of a simmering pot. My high chair's cool metal tray, and the backs of my legs stuck to the seat. My mother twisting the telephone cord around her fingers, my mouth on the cord, the deeply satisfying sensation of biting the tight, springy loops. I was 1.5 years old.